Am I on? Yes, I am. Good morning. And I'm speaking today specifically to our people in Barbados and Barbadians all over the United States, the UK, Canada, wherever you are, you know. Because one of the things that I think that we must know as a West Indian people, indeed as a people, because I know it is ongoing in the United States of America as well, it's in Canada. And I'm talking about the intrusive behavior of Facebook that is for some has now empowered themselves as they continue to take over every medium of communication so that they get to control the information that goes out, what goes out, and what doesn't go out. And I am expecting that at some point, a senator, a congressional man, somebody will raise it and an investigation will take place. No business should have the authority to be able to shut down your communication with the people of your country. They're getting to say what is this, what is community acceptability and everything else. Who are they? I just wrote a note based on our Prime Minister's response to an interview in Australia, where she's telling the Australian interviewer that the people of Barbados will not be allowed to do a referendum to move to a Republican form of government, even though in the throne speech given by the Governor General, it was said and told to Barbadians that they would be allowed to go and have a referendum as to whether they want to move into this form of political direction. Here she is lying now, but not so much lying, but being exposed for what the real plan is, and that is that the people of Barbados are not going to be allowed to decide that they want their country to go republic, but that she's going to take it on herself to decide that that is where they're going. And one of the reasons she gave is that it is good because there are young people in our country who can now aspire to be president of their own country. But watch this. She goes on to say that the position is largely ceremonial, which we all know. No news there. And apart from one or two tidbits, that's what it is, which is it is already. So what you're going to do now is give a young person, boy or girl, the opportunity to dream of sitting down and rubber stamping information that sometimes gall you because you disagree with it so vehemently. She goes on to say, the Prime Minister, that she would never be a Chief Justice, she would never be a Governor General, she'll never be in those positions. Why? Because she will never be in a place where she can exercise intellectual freedom. In other words, have an opinion, be able to voice an opinion. She would never do this. But she's advocating that the reason why we should move from the democratic or under the British rule to a Republican form of government is so that young people can now aspire to being rubber stampers, non-thinkers, and persons who play no intellectual and give into no intellectual exercise regarding the things that they're confronted with from day to day. In other words, walk around Barbados numb. And perhaps the only redeeming factor to it would be getting a check every month. This is the kind of hypocrisy. This is the kind of thing that we are seeing being pushed all over the world, because now every interview now is being taken to ABC and CNN and all those, because now the Caribbean has been so well oiled with the nasty marketing promotion of the deep state, of the New World Order, that now everything we do now is coming from overseas. Now here's a country talking about moving towards republicanism and can't even get their independence right. Because if we were getting our independence right, we would find that we don't need an interview on CNN or ABC or any of those. It's a bunch of publicity, meaning to dislodge the understanding of those who would listen, because the truth of the matter is, when all of that grandstanding is over, the people at home, many of them don't have a check. Many of them don't have a job. Many of them have not been paid the promised NIS benefits to help them live from day to day. Many of them are going through some tough times while she gets out there playing to an audience that are just too willing to say, go, as long as she remain hooked to the New World Order, the deep state, and those who would undermine the Caribbean as a whole. And then you have Facebook, who is now coming in to interfere with that information being disseminated among our people as they get and they're deciding what items they will publish and what items they will not, and what items they will block. My article was not defamatory. It wasn't inflammatory. My article was directed to my people in my country. And Facebook is telling us that this here offends the community. Whose community are you talking about? Who gave you the right? When did you get it? And Congress is standing by and watching you, Facebook, take over every medium that shows up that would afford a democratic principle. As you attenuate to yourself complete control of the media and therefore what is sent out and what is not sent out. Where did you get this authority from? Because clearly Congress is silent on it. I really don't care if you want to block the whole world. When you get to blocking Barbadians from talking to Barbadians, you're going somewhere else. Because at the end of the day, these mediums are not in the business of allowing the public to have a say. They're in the business of controlling public thought. Your control arm. And the sooner it is looked into, the sooner it is investigated, the sooner hopefully the truth of it will come out. How dare you decide that we can't speak to our people in our country? On what basis? But I hope the day will come when Congress will have a look at the control that Facebook is exerting over the media in the world. No company with no young, giddy head, no ignorant boy, that all he know how to do is to make some money, care less, is at the behest of any check that come across his desk. No media should be under that kind of direction, because the best you can get out of it is irresponsibility. You can cut my article saying that it offends what? Have you been talking to our prime minister? Did you get a check? Here's a lady telling the people of Barbados that they should go republic. Have a local head of state called president rather than governor general. But he would be ceremonial. In other words, stamp letters and lick them and read messages that are given to him or her. As impotent as they come. And this is what our young boys and girls can aspire to. And when asked if she would take a job as governor general or when he want them, no, she says. And why not, man? Because I will always want to exercise intellectual and academic independence over my life and over the things in my life. So it's not good for you. But now we are going to rear a boy or girl for a ceremonial post where they act as a little more than a puppet. And this is a prevailing view as to why we should move to a Republican form of government. I am sharing this with the people of Barbados. Facebook decides that it offends community. Well, let's see if YouTube will say the same, or let's see if YouTube is controlled by Facebook, and let's see if they'll block it. This is madness. This is madness. Anyhow, thank you. And Barbadians, wherever you are, God bless you. But we can get through this too. And we can see the end of this nonsense. 2022 or 2023. 1 year, 1 term, no more. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye. Ooh, take it a while.